Montana, KKVU HD3 Stevensville, and 102.9 FM on K275BS Missoula. It's time for Montana's only daily sports talk show, Nuanez Now. Watch the show statewide on SWX Montana Television.
I like football!
Now here's your host, Coulter Nuanez.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. Nuanez Now, 1029 ESPN Radio. Also coming to you on the ESPN MT app. No SWX today. We got some high school baseball rolling on the SWX, so all good there. But if you'd like to see our beautiful faces, you can always hit us up on the ESPN MT app or on our YouTube page. You can also stream live on Facebook every day between 4 and 6. I'm Coulter Nuanez, coming to you through the Grizzly Disposal studio here at the Missoula Broadcasting Company. Grizzly Disposal, locally owned, veteran-owned, and the only Bears that should be in your garbage. Some stuff to get to today. We're going to keep on talking Bobcat spring ball because the spring game is tomorrow, and then that will then put a cap on the spring session for both Montana and Montana State. Grizz were just a couple weeks earlier than the Cats, so we sort of put a bow on that a couple weeks ago, and then have talked about the Cats a little bit more. These last couple weeks, we were talking about the Grizz pretty much exclusively for the first half of spring ball, so it's been a little uneven and even at the exact same time. But Brooks Nuanez swings by to talk about some of the overwhelming storylines for Montana State. We also got some news briefs from around the wide world of spring sports at both the collegiate and high school levels. We're also going to hear from one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Justin Lampson, senior quarterback for Montana State. This is actually his first spring ball there at MSU, though. He was in Bozeman last spring, but he wasn't on the team yet. So this is his first time doing spring ball, even though he's already won a national championship there at MSU. So that's all just in hour number one. Then Carol and the Chicken Doesn't Know Sports will swing by to lead the 5 o'clock hour. And Jeff Safford has the latest on Grizz softball as they have a championship weekend coming up here in Missoula tomorrow and Sunday with Idaho State coming to town. And then Hayden will take you home with whatever else we have left. Probably only have a minute or two on the back end. But that's where we're at here on this Friday. Appreciate you for hanging. If you want to be a part of the show, you always can, 406-888-1029. And as always, coming to you through the Grizzly Disposal studio. Grizzly Disposal, locally owned, veteran-owned, and the only Bears that should be in your garbage. This is actually just fresh off the Twitter sphere. I'm so impressed with the recruits right now that are coming out of the state of Montana. These guys that are juniors right now, that are about to go into the summer before their senior years, they'll be seniors next fall on the football field. They're great, man. There's some really good recruits. The Under Armour Next Camp is a showcase, a recruiting camp that takes place in Salt Lake City. I've never really heard of guys going to this from Montana. But Walker Olson, who's one of the top recruits in the state, he's a senior to be at Billings West High School. He participated in it today, as did Cooper Pelk, who's a Kalispell Glacier senior to be. He is committed to the Grizz. Walker Olson has offers from both the Cats and the Grizz. He also has an offer from Nevada. He was on a visit to San Diego State recently. So, I mean, he's a big-time player. He's a Mountain West type of guy, probably. And he's certainly a Mountain West type of guy after today. At 6'2", 200 pounds. Again, this is a guy that's not even a senior in high school yet. 6'2", 200 pounds. He ran 4.55 seconds in the 40-meter dash. That's big time for somebody of that size and that age. He also broad jumped over 10 feet. So this dude's a great athlete. Cooper Pelk said, not so fast. I got one more for you. He came in at 6'2", 182, so a little bit lighter. But he ran 4.49. That's smoking. Also had over a 10-foot broad jump and 4.15 in the short shuttle. These are both ranked between the 89th and 90th percentile in the overall score of these tests at the at the Under Armour Futures Camp down there in Salt Lake City. So that's pretty good. You know, that's one thing that maybe is getting glossed over. We've talked plenty about the commitments for both Montana and Montana State. I have mentioned that you need to get this thing to the finish line on either side, right? You're 8 months away from signing day, so you still need to figure out a way to sign all these guys. And we've talked about, like, well, what happens if Bobby Kennedy and the staff aren't retained? Will the Grizz still keep all those recruits? But the one thing that hasn't been considered is, what if some of these guys go so big? Like, what if they have such great senior years that they just get out recruited? Like, I think there's like 10 guys in the state of Montana this year that could go bigger than Montana and Montana State. Now, obviously, you're still usually prone to doing that, but you know, like if the University of Utah comes knocking, Colorado offers, like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, what happens when some of these guys sort of outgrow the state of Montana? It would be cool if they did. I mean, that would be great for the state. That would certainly be, like, impressive. So, good job by those guys. I mean, that's going to really increase their recruiting profiles, no question. In other news, Grizz men's tennis, their awesome season came to a screeching halt today. This is a bit of a shocker. Montana loses in the semifinals of the Big Sky Tournament to Idaho State. Grizz got a bye. And so they were waiting for the lowest seeded team. And that happened to be the Bengals after the Bengals rolled yesterday 4-0 over Sac State. And the Bengals just kept that momentum, and they ousted Montana. So an abrupt end. I mean, I thought the Grizz were the favorites, even though they were the 2 seed. I thought they were the favorites. The only conference loss they had this year was to Northern Arizona, but they were shorthanded in that one. You'd think back at full strength, that would be. I mean, it was a 4-3 match. You think with a full lineup, Montana would be able to get over the top. They also have that tournament experience. They were the tournament champions from a year ago. Thomas Bittner is the best player in the conference. He was the MVP of the league, named just a couple days ago. Jason Brown was named the coach of the year. And just boom, just like that, one morning session, and it's all over. So, bummer for Grizz tennis. I'm always rooting for those guys because I think they're awesome. It's a cool. It adds a unique flavor to the landscape of athletics here in Missoula and at the University of Montana, because, I mean, the vast majority of the team is from overseas. Like, there are all these European guys that are making their way in Missoula, Montana, and it's just fun to get to know them. And of course, Jason Brown's a Montana guy. I mean, he's from Conrad, so and he's done a great job there for the Grizz. So a bummer for them. Grizz softball, though, they host Idaho State with the league title on the line. The first to win 2 out of 3. There's a 3-game series, so the first to win 2 out of 3 wins the outright conference title. Montana's been to the regional before, but they've never been the outright conference champions. That's what's on the line for Grizz softball. Jeff Sanford has more on that coming up here in about an hour and a half. We also are also next week we'll have recaps of the Montana Open, which is the last outdoor track and field meet for the Grizz track team. That should be a fun one to watch. The Grizz have been making waves. And finally, then a couple news briefs for you here before we get to Brooks Nuanez talking all things Montana State football. Miguel Awayo, he's a state champion wrestler ×4 for Billings West, the most recent addition to the 4-timer club in the state of Montana. And when he was on the show back in February, he did not know where he was going to college. Well, he decided today he's going to South Dakota State. They got a great wrestling program. It's obviously relatively, I mean, it's not that close. Not a hop, skip, and a jump in the car, but closer to Billings than it is to Missoula. That's certainly true. And it's just a great program, so I'm glad that young man's getting a D1 shot. Hudson Ledke's a guy out of Butte, Montana, that I thought would get a D1 shot either in basketball or football. That was not the case. He does not have a D1 offer in either sport. He does have several Frontier Conference offers in both sports. I think when the dust settles, he'll maybe get some like preferred walk-on type offers for football from like the Cats and the Grizz, but we'll see. But he's going a different route. He's going to Casper Community College, which is a good program there in Casper, Wyoming. I actually wish Montana kids would do this more. Because you never know, right? You go there, maybe you don't like it or you don't fit in or you're not getting better. Okay, whatever. You can always transfer back and go to Montana Tech, live in your hometown, right? Also, though, what happens if you have a great year against good competition and then you get big-time offers? You get D1 scholarship offers. That would be cool. The MHSA approved 6 schools that have new classifications this upcoming, I guess, in the 2027-2028 year, so that's next academic year. Anaconda and Jefferson are both moving up. They're going from Class B to Class A. Anaconda's making a resurgence. They're definitely gaining population. People are choosing to live there. And so is Montana City and Boulder, the two schools, the two towns, that sort of feed Jefferson County High School. So not surprised those two are moving up. Cascade and Park City are going up to Class B. So they were Class C. We're going up to Class B. And then Fairview and Plentywood are moving back to Class C. Fairview and Plentywood have been Class B just for a couple of years. They decided on this. The MHSA did a little bit earlier on this week. And finally, the last news brief I got for you, Travis Williams, who's been the head coach at Missoula Big Sky for the last 4 years in girls basketball. He has resigned as the head coach for the girls. Did an awesome job at Big Sky, 68-25 over 4 seasons, won 2 Western AA titles, led the Eagles to a third-place trophy this last year, and his teams reached the state tournament 4 years in a row. And in fact, it was back-to-back third-place trophies for the Eagles. So he did a really good job. There was no real, I mean, he said he just wanted to spend more time with his family. I get that. That's just how this is going to go. Like, a lot of these coaches are young, and they have young families. But, like, as their kids get older, you kind of want to be around your kids, right? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys, when they get through, like, that 7 to 14 age group, and then their kids are back into, like, high school age, if they come back to coaching, right? But, like, when your kids are non-existent or tiny, and it's still manageable, at least a little bit, to coach. Still challenging, but manageable. But then once they get to be like 5, 6, 7, well, then what? You know, between 7 and 14, you probably want to be coaching your own kids. Like, we've seen this with a lot of the coaches around Missoula and around Montana. And then you wonder if they get back into it once their kids get to high school age. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not putting words in Travis Williams' mouth. But he did a great job at Big Sky, and that'll be a tough one to replace. All right, there's all your news briefs. We'll talk a little bit more NFL draft a little bit later on. But first, a couple big thoughts about Montana State as they kick off their spring game tomorrow afternoon in Bozeman. And I want to start with what I think is one of the most interesting dynamics that's going on right now, sort of during this off-season football cycle. And that is that Montana State is the now reigning national champions. And yet, because they return everybody besides 8 players from last year's team,
8 seniors, right?
Eight seniors, right? And then obviously there was some guys that left in the portal, specifically 3 corners that were very, very talented that went to Power 4 programs. But there's still not a lot of turnover. But also because of the way that they've been able to operate in these 5 seasons under Brent Vigen thus far, even when they have had turnover, they've so seamlessly replaced it. They've been in this situation before where they've had premier players leaving the portal, and they've had guys waiting in the wings that were just as good as those guys, just as productive, all that. So I think that the storylines maybe just don't have as much intrigue because there is so much stability. Like, we know that Brent Vigen can change coordinators every single year on both sides of the ball, and it doesn't matter. They're still one of the best offenses and defenses in the country. We know that they can lose premier players along the offensive line and in the defensive secondary to the transfer portal, and they're still going to be one of the best, units in the country on either side. And it's a great testament to what they've done. But it's also sort of interesting because you'd think that the defending national champs would be dominating the conversation right now, but because of all the turmoil and turnover at Montana, the Grizz have maybe got a little more run. Part of that's also because the Grizz started spring ball earlier, so they sort of had like a 2-week head start of being the ones that were in the spotlight. What do you make of just the fact that the Bobcats are the defending national champs? And we've talked about like 2 big picture questions for them, but not a crazy amount about the in-depth part of it, because I think we just sort of agree, and not just us two, but like people that cover this team sort of just know where we're at in terms of the proof's in the pudding. They've done it over and over and over again when it comes to roster turnover and coaching staff turnover.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question. I think I've been thinking about this a lot, Coulter. How do you like this? How do you like this take here? If you're Alabama or you're North Dakota State,
sure, and
you win a national championship, I think it's more about what you do the next year than it is that year. I think if you're Indiana, you ride out this national championship you just won for a decade.
Sure.
I think the Cats right now, everyone is like, yeah, you won it. We thought you would win it. Now what do you do?
Sure.
I think that's a huge piece of, maybe that's not why they're not dominating the headlines right now, but that the consistency, some of the roster, the roster pieces play a huge part of this. But more so, I think it's that people are kind of settled into what they think about them, and they're ready to see what happens next.
Well, and that's the thing is, even though it had been 41 years since a national championship at Montana State, they've won
premier program.
They've won 3 previous national championships and had been to 2 other previous national championship games during 3 of the last 5 seasons they've played for the national championship, And even though last year broke a streak that dated all the way back to 1984, it wasn't their first national championship. Like, if Illinois State wins that national championship, the talk of a repeat is not even close to.
They're not even talking about it.
It's not the same. It's not the same thing, because that would have definitively been the greatest Illinois State team of all time.
Yep.
Because it would have been their first national championship. It's the same thing, like you're saying, that the great programs have to go through, right? That's where North Dakota State was so impressive during the peak of their run, because they were able to challenge the guys and say, well, you're nothing compared to the rest of the lineage at North Dakota State. We've won 8 previous Division II national championships. You know, basically, to be one of the legendary teams, you got a three-peat at NDSU, right? Like, it would be the same, even though the Grizz have not won one for 25 years, it would be the same thing. Like, to be the greatest stretch, you got to go back to back, because they had,
or 2 or 3,
because they had 2 different teams that went to national championship games back to back years and won one. So to do that, like, now the Cats are in that same scenario. They went to one and then they won one. What do they do in year 3 with a lot of the same guys, a lot of different guys? It's a really interesting spot that they've put themselves in, but a huge testament to them. We've been covering the Cats for a long time now. We always thought they were going to be good. Well, I mean, we started this company, Skyline Sports, because of the fact that we knew Montana State had great potential to be even better than they were when we first started covering them.
No doubt.
Did you ever think they'd be this good?
Yes.
You did?
Not necessarily this good, but yes, absolutely. They have everything in place. I mean, Bozeman was always going to be a town that was going to grow. It was always going to be a town that was a nice place to live.
Yep.
The school has always been a beyond, a top tier academic institution. And then if you have football heritage like they do, where there are Letterman guys with white hair sitting in the stands.
Totally.
There's guys that have been around that won national championships that are around the program a lot.
Yes.
And if you have that, then yes, you always have the potentials. But this good, sure, that's tough. I think that, remember what I'm saying here and what we're sharing, in the sense that it's really about what you do with this stretch more than it is that 1 year. There's fans of a certain age, under 40, 45 years old, who think we're crazy right now because they're like, the Cats have never done this in my lifetime.
Sure.
But it's all about that history piece. When I'm around Montana State, all I hear about is 84. All I hear about is, 56, right?
56, 76, Sonny Holland, the statue, all that stuff.
All you hear about is that stuff, right? And then you get a guy like Sonny Holland who wins one as a player, then wins one as a coach, and you talk about, like, you have this really strong historic base that then when they go win one, it's more of the monkey off your back rather than jumping on the bucking horse, right? Like, the monkey is now kind of off your back, but now it's, can you do it again? Do you come out flat and have a down season? What do you do with the momentum you have now? And I think that will continue to build this offseason.
That then is, to me, I think the big question mark this year is, how do they handle sort of the pressure?
That's everything.
Of being the team with the target on their backs. The fact, though, that the guy that's driving the train, Brent Vigen, has been in this scenario before as a coach at North Dakota State. The fact that he played at that program as well, so he knows about what it takes to be a program that is a perennial contender. And then, like you mentioned, I think that, like, the support system is one of the things that gave us so much belief in what Montana State could become. So many of the people that have been so good to us, that have supported us through all these years, and through all the ebbs and flows of Bobcat football and all the different coaches. I mean, we've covered 4 different coaches at Montana State now, and multiple athletic directors, et cetera, et cetera. I think that those folks have a really good. First of all, they have a big influence on the mentality of the dynamic of the existence of the Cats in general. And I also think that a lot of them are going to be excited to be that team that is sort of the front runner, the team that is a target on their back. And I also think that one of the biggest advantages this Montana State team has is they sold all their best players on coming back to run it back.
No doubt.
That is the thing. Like, they told the Taco Dallars and Justin Lamsons and Titan Fleischmans and Braden Zimmers of the world, you can go get your money wherever you got offered. That's all fine and dandy. You go back to back at Montana State, you're immortal. You'll be remembered for 100 years. And testaments to all those guys. Basically, all of them bought into it. What do you think of just the challenge Montana State has in front of them, though, in terms of managing this?
I think it's tremendous. I mean, first off, I bet Brett Vegan goes as hard as he's ever gone in his entire life because, again, he understands this opportunity.
Yes.
This puts you on a whole different level when you have this in front of you.
It's been really interesting. He has made himself less accessible to the media during this spring ball.
Not surprised.
He has been, he's done like 3 media things in the last 5 weeks, and he's talked a lot of big picture stuff, and he's given a little bit of credit, but a lot of it's just been, we got to be better here, we got to be better here, we got to be better here. He's been constructively critical of his football team.
Again, I think he'll go as hard as he's ever gone in his life. He's got a little more fire year after year, and I think that this next year, I think he's going to go hard, and he will be nonstop critical of himself and of everything that's happening, the coaching, the play calling. I think that he will put the pressure to make sure that everyone knows what the standard is. But when you talked about some of the support folks, even the fans that we know so well, you talk about some of maybe the coaches and players that have been there, been around, kind of understand the heritage, the history of this whole thing. When let's just say, like, I don't know, Northern Arizona, week 5 or 6, it's a 7-point game in the third quarter. Could be some puckering going on here, you know, because it's going to happen. There's going to be a game this year where you maybe not blow out a team that you think you should or something, and there's going to be some serious questions and some doubts, and that's human nature, right? But once you kind of get over that hurdle and you find a stride, if they get going towards the middle of the season here, I think the momentum will carry them to heights that we've never seen.
Is there a chance though that they just
absolutely lambast everybody?
First half TKO everybody like they did for 2 straight years?
Yes, I think there's absolutely a chance. But who did they play last year in a tight game? Maybe it was in the playoffs. Yale. If that game happens, there'll be some puckers, you know, because last year there was, but there'll be like some what is happening? 10-7 in the third quarter, like this can't happen.
Yep, and
that'll be amazing to watch from our perspective. I don't wish it upon anyone because it'll be quite stressful if that's who you're rooting for.
Yeah, well, and there was obviously there's always circumstances, there's always nuance to any of that stuff, and Yale, I thought was. First of all, you got a bunch of really smart guys that came in with a great game plan. Also, your big boy in the middle, Paul Brott, was playing on one leg.
Oh, of course. There's always circumstances.
And Yale said, we got an NFL guy, Josh Pitzenberger. We're just going to run it straight up the middle and see what you guys got. You know, like challenge those inside linebackers that were already sort of playing on a thread as well because they've been, you know, in the meat grinder for 14 weeks already. But no, you're right. There always is a moment when you get tested, right? I mean, their early tests came. They were all early, right? They lost to South Dakota State. They
lost 2 of them.
You know, they were all. I mean, they did not blow. If you were to say, what do you think the score of Montana State versus Mercyhurst was, and you didn't know, you'd be completely shocked that it was 17-0.
Right.
And then they went out the next week and won 59-3 over Eastern Washington to open up conference play. So it is. It's going to be fascinating to navigate. But I think all of that is such storylines then for later, right? That is way more prevalent once we get to July, August, September. We're actually on the horizon of this season. So for the here and now, I'm so interested to see, first of all, their offensive advancement, just because this is the first time in a little while that they have the same quarterback in Justin Lampson, same offensive coordinator in Pete Sturbeck, a lot of the same offensive skill players. They should be stacked at receiver. Those guys are going to understand the concepts at a very high level. So I expect them to hit the ground running offensively just in terms of execution. Defensively, sort of same deal, but I do think there is some actual personnel intrigue on defense because I do think you have to find somebody to solidify the back end. They've recruited really well on the back end, but replacing 3 guys that, you know, were 10-point-something seconds in the 100 meters that were all willing tacklers, those corners were, I thought, the X factor last year for Montana State. So on Saturday, what do you think are the most intriguing parts of maybe what's going to play out during the Sonny Holland spring game?
Yeah, I mean, all of those are intriguing. And I do think the secondary will be the most interesting part to me. But also, I would love to see where the depth falls on the offensive line. You know, we've talked about both those groups quite a bit, but I think it's the key to a national championship run, especially in this day and age, especially in the 4-2-5. I would love to see offensive line-wise, if they have 8 or 9, that's a whole different thing. You know, if they have 6 or 7, that's what you kind of have. Yeah. But they've been so good at developing offensive linemen. We've talked about in the car recently, Colter, on a long road trip, we talked about all these Montana guys, whether it's Burke-Mastel or Zimmer or guys that have been come in, they have potential, but they're actually developing and becoming all league style players.
Yes.
If they continue to do that, that's hard to continue to do that forever, right?
Right.
I mean, just like you might just miss, or a kid gets hurt, or whatever it is. I can't wait to see, especially in spring, kind of just the way that the whole entire program runs. Is you're going to get to see some of those depth pieces. We saw it with Montana. I know we'll get to the Grizz and talk about some of those things that flashed and popped, but for me, it's kind of depth on the defensive secondary, and the Montana State offensive line.
I think they sort of know where they're at in terms of the outside of the offensive line. Zimmer's going to be the left tackle. Fleischman's going to be either the right guard or the right tackle, depending on who emerges, but I would imagine right tackle because I think that's his best spot.
Do you think that's his best spot? He's a right tackle, right?
Yeah, he's a right tackle in the NFL, too.
Right.
Like I think he has league potential, and I think he's a power tackle.
Aren't his levers just too long to even play guard? Not too long, but like he's best fit at tackle, right?
No question.
Yeah.
And once they get his wingspan...
Oh, man, his arms are so long.
So long.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's skinny is the wrong word, but he is very fit for weighing 305 pounds. I mean, he could put on another 10 to 20 if you really needed him to, as long as he could maintain his agility. It's the inside, though. Can someone emerge at center?
Yeah.
Because if they can, then you can play Mastel at one of the guard spots, and then the battle is for the other guard spot. If you need Mastel to play center, then the battle is for the guard spots. But this is where the embarrassment of riches is so impressive because Everett Carr started games last year. Dylan Rollins, the former Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Montana. Tommy Nielsen's a guy that's made a lot of waves during the offseason. A lot of coaches have talked about him. Dalton Noble, Montana kid. You know, he's been a guy that, I mean, he was committed to Army, so he's an FBS type of recruit before then he ended up at Montana State. So and the other cool part of the story that you have to acknowledge is there's been this narrative. And we've certainly mentioned it and talked about it quite a bit, you know, the death of the offensive lineman that's coming out of the state of Montana. Well, here's a potential starting offensive line for the Cats this year. Braden Zimmer from Billings, Montana, at left tackle. Everett Carr from Bozeman, Montana, at left guard. Burke-Mastel from Red Lodge, Montana, at center. Dylan Rollins from Missoula, Montana, at right guard. And Titan Fleischman from Pocatello, Idaho at right tackle. Like you could see a scenario where you got 4 out of the 5 starters that are from the state of Montana. So that's bucking the notion of that narrative. Oh, by the way, some of the backups, Tommy Nielsen, he's from Missoula. Dalton Noble, he's from Boulder, from Jefferson County High School. Excuse me. So I mean, you got 7 dudes from Montana. They're going to almost certainly be in the top 10 there for the Cats. So they're sort of dispelling that notion that you can't get the big boys up front from the state either.
And maybe outside of Zimmer, all those guys were fully developed, almost from the darn near ground up. There's some good recruits there.
Sure, right.
I mean, Zimmer had to gain the weight too, but he kind of seemed like he had the frame from day one.
Sure.
He had the hands, he had the skill. Those other guys, yeah, they're good players, but like they had to be developed to get to this point, which is such a testament to what it takes and the commitment to a program. And when you get guys rolling, strength conditioning wise, they understand their role and they get to actually develop in a program. This is the kind of the results. But you got to love to see the Montana kids up there.
Last thing I want to talk about for the Cats, so we'll switch gears to the Grizz here. For most programs, most teams, you lose 4 senior defensive linemen, including a captain in Paul Brott, a captain in Kenneth Iden, both those guys first-team all-conference players, plus 2 more all-conference players in Alec Eckert and Hunter Parsons. And you're in a rebuild scenario. They've got a bunch of guys that have played, led by Zach Cruz and Talon Marsh, Dom Solano, Zach Black. All 4 of those guys got plenty of reps last year. 2-part question. Do you believe in those guys' ability to become the headlining group? And secondly, how important is that for them to develop a second group like those guys have been for the Cats the last 2 years?
I would say yes to the first part. No question they can become headlining group. But I think even more importantly is developing those guys behind them.
Yeah.
Because in the 4-2-5, you do a lot of your pass rushing from that front 4. And there's been spot players. Kenneth Iden was kind of the rotating guy, the third down guy. And Zach Cruz has been that the last year, where you kind of come in and you're getting 7 to 10 sacks, but not playing starter snaps. That's a huge role in any team, let alone a team that wants to function like that defensively. But yes, that group you named, I mean, especially if they take a step. We know that Zach Cruz is probably kind of a surefire all-league style of player. I think you could say that about Zach Black, Dom Solano, I think they're edging that. Talon Marsh played well last year in his minutes. He's pretty damn athletic for his size. I mean, he's a true 300-pounder, right? I mean, I haven't seen exactly what he's listed at, but I
think they listed about 290 right now.
He can move and shake for being a big boy. But we've seen it in all defenses, whether we talk about the Grizz 3-3-5 or this 4-2-5 here at Montana State. That true inside guy, the Paul Broad of the world, is so important. And it's, I think, so undervalued, also misunderstood of what kind of player you have to be impactful in that role. And the guys, we're just so used to it. There's always this guy in the middle, this plug that can stop the run, can rush the passer up the middle, that can just create chaos, let alone beat people up and make the game physical. Harder than it sounds. You know, it's not just like a plug and play. This guy is the next one up. He's got the size. You got to have the effort, the wherewithal, and the consistency to pull that off, which I think is probably something that throughout the season will be a huge factor in how this team does.
The fact that Talon Marsh he's the all-time leading sacks guy in Helena Capital history.
Is he really?
And playing out on the inside during high school.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
I love it.
I mean, the fact that he was that disruptive, does that give you confidence in his ability to accelerate?
No doubt. And he's a head slapper. He's a guy that kind of likes to get after it. He kind of likes to mix it up a little bit. Like, he seems like you don't want to find him in a parking lot kind of guy. So those kind of guys are what you need at that spot. Inherently, again, I think that we all get used to just having those guys there. If all of a sudden you just don't, due to injury, due to attrition, due to whatever it may be, it will play more of a factor than almost any role on either side of the ball.
Brooks Nuanez here on Nuanez Now 102.9 ESPN Radio. We have new friends here. We're just doing these every Monday, but I wanted to get one in this week. DBAT is it's like a hitting facility. It's a batting cage. We have cards that will gift you 75 free swings at the DBAT Missoula Baseball and Softball Academy. It's located at 821 Burlington Avenue. If you want to go check out DBAT, you can online, dbatmissoula.com, or just call us. Actually, text us, 406-888-1029. You want 75 swings from DBAT, 406-888-1029. Take a break. Keep on talking spring ball. Justin Lamson, Montana State National Championship winning quarterback. Next. Keep it right here. ESPN Radio.
DeMorris Buick GMC is ready to help you safely travel Montana's scenic roads in comfort and style. Stop by DeMorris today and test drive some outstanding SUVs. Right now, take advantage of closeout pricing on the uniquely designed and well-equipped 2024 Buick Encore GX with models starting at $28,895. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to demorris.com to preview our inventory of 2024 Buick Encores and then pay a visit to DeMorris Buick GMC on West Broadway in Missoula, your family-owned hometown dealership for over 60 years.
It's easy to see why Montana is the treasure state. At the University of Montana, we look inside. We see an old truth with fresh eyes, that Montana's greatest treasure is its people. So whatever tomorrow brings, we meet it the only way we know how, with a mind for making. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
Athletes and coaches from Montana and Montana State made waves on Wednesday. Hello, I am Colter Nuanez. At the Big Sky Women's Golf Tournament at the Wigwam Resort in Litchfield Park, Arizona, Montana State's Nora Seidel capped the week of a lifetime by shooting a final round 67 to force a playoff. In that playoff, Seidel drilled a putt from the fringe to outlast Northern Arizona's Lizzie Neal to become the fourth golfer in MSU history to take home the Big Sky Conference title. Seidel's efforts earns her a spot at the NCAA West Regional and helps Montana State finish third overall as a team. Montana freshman Katie Lewis, a Frenchtown product, shot a final round even par 71 to finish in a tie for 25th place to pace the Grizz as Montana finished 9th out of 10 teams. The Grizz tennis team took home a slew of top honors from the Big Sky. On the women's side, junior Kelsey Phillips went undefeated in Big Sky Conference play, and on Wednesday, the league announced she's the Big Sky Conference Player of the Year. Phillips went 8-0 in league matches, winning 6 of the 8 in straight sets. In Grizz men's tennis, Jason Brown was named the Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year for the second season in a row, and Tom Bittner was named the MVP of the league for the Grizz. Brown led UM to a 13-7 overall record and went 6-1 in conference play this season. Bittner is the third MVP in Grizz history after overcoming an injury to post a 5-2 record in singles in league play and lead the Grizz to the number 2 seed in this weekend's Big Sky tournament in Phoenix.
This ESPN Missoula Sports Center is presented by Canyon River Golf Club. It's Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Missoula. Watch the show statewide on SWX Montana Television.
Welcome back. Welcome to ESPN Radio, SWX Montana Television, and the ESPN MT app. I know we are right up against it, so we got to roll. Here is one of the best quarterbacks in the United States of America at the FCS level. Montana State spring football coverage continues. Checking in now in Bozeman with Montana State quarterback Justin Lamson, coming off of a national championship run and a most outstanding player in the national championship game in Nashville. Justin, thanks for being here, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
I know we got to talk to you after the game, but, I mean, always chaotic when it's a press conference with 50 people in there and you guys are trying to compartmentalize all these emotions and the on-the-field celebration and all that. But now it's been a couple months. Has it really sunk in what you guys accomplished in Nashville? And if so, what's it feel like?
Yeah, I think it's definitely sunk in. And, I think at this point, we're trying to move on to the next season, and but still holding that. I don't think you're ever going to lose that you won the national championship last year. And definitely after that game, when I talked to you last, there was a lot of emotions, but it's been great, and just seeing how the community's reacted to it, it's been awesome.
It's such an interesting balancing act, right, as a competitor, because on one hand, you do want to sort of savor it and appreciate what you've accomplished. But then on the other hand, it's sort of like back to work, right? I mean, you guys only had like 2 weeks off before you dove into winter conditioning. So how do you sort of keep the sword sharp, so to speak, and get after it again while still sort of acknowledging what you guys accomplished?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of reminders from the coaching staff, and then leaders being good leaders and keeping everybody in check. I think at the end of the day, I mean, the motto of every guy I'm sure that you've interviewed is a lot of guys are trying to, get to the next season and, how can we get better? Because there's a lot that we could be better at. And I don't know, I think that's such an important thing. But no, I think it comes from the top and then, guys, responding to that and following that lead.
Well, the pursuit of a national championship was such a definitive and sort of uniting goal at Montana State for not just your guys' group, but for a really long time, right? But that's sort of what the program's been building towards. Ever since they snapped the streak against the Grizzlies back in 2002, it's sort of been like that's the brick-by-brick approach that they've taken. And to me, that was one of the coolest parts about the MSU National Championship is how much everybody from around Bobcat Nation sort of got to celebrate it, right? The former players, you saw all the guys that were there, the boosters, the people that have supported the program for all these different years and generations and all that. But how do you sort of keep the next goal in focus? Because it's been forever. I mean, all you guys have had this common goal. We got to get over the top. We got to beat these teams. We got to win this national championship. How do you remotivate yourself to go chase another one?
Yeah, well, I think it's never been done here. So that's an easy way to look at it that's the way I look at it is, guys are trying to make history again, you know what I mean? I hadn't done it in 41 years, and I think that motivated a lot of guys, but we also haven't won back-to-back national championships at Montana State. And obviously that's a very high goal, and everybody knows that, but I think it's a good goal to have just because, it keeps guys motivated. And I don't think there's a lack of motivation in our culture at all. I think there's guys that are looking themselves in the mirror and saying, hey, I got to get a lot better for the guys around me. And I know there's a lot of young guys that, want to make an impact on the team that maybe nobody's ever heard about but are real dudes. And no, it's been fun just because everybody's competing. And, I still think there's a big chip on everybody's shoulder. And, that's hard to do after you've won a national championship. But I don't feel like there's a sense of complacency at all. And I've been really happy with how our guys have worked this spring.
When it comes to you and some of the other key returners, just that pursuit of greatness, that pursuit of if you guys go back to back, you guys are definitively the greatest group in the history of Montana State, right? There's been other national championship teams, but to be able to actually put two in a row together, and then you combine it with the national championship game run, the year before that. It really affirmed just sort of the golden era of Bobcat football. When you guys were all sort of deciding your immediate future, how much did that play into it? Sort of the impact you might be able to have on your legacy as an individual and also as a group?
Yeah, I'll be honest, we didn't really talk too much about being able to run it back. I think everybody honestly knew that there was an opportunity for that, right? I think it was more about just like guys liking to be around each other and the culture we're in. I know for a lot of the Montana guys, it's like, why would I leave? I got all my best friends here, you know what I mean? And our coach has obviously showed his loyalty to us, Coach Sturbick, stayed for myself selfishly, and it was a good opportunity for everybody to come back and enjoy football together. And we got such a great group of guys that are all friends in the locker room, and we all hang out outside of the locker room. It's just football is one thing, but you have to live life out here too. And sure. It was cool just to see everybody saying, hey, I'm coming back, trying to get other guys to come back. It was pretty awesome. But football-wise, we all know that, we have the talent, but that's really not going to take you anywhere at the end of the day. It's about a lot of other little things. And we don't talk too much about getting another one. We talk about the work that needs to be done to get it.
The journey to get there, certainly. In this day and age, it's sort of uncommon to see great athletes, especially from mid-major type of D1 programs like Montana State. I'm talking holistically the whole athletic department come back, but you've seen this become a trend there in Bozeman, not just with the football team, but men's basketball, everybody's coming back from last year's team. Women's basketball, Taylor Chirick was the MVP of the league, and she probably could have gone and got a lot of money from a lot of different places, but she's coming back too. How much do you think just the overall culture of the athletic department in Bozeman, and also just sort of the relationship that Bobcat Athletics has with the city and the state, plays into you guys just having such a great experience there and wanting to stay?
Yeah, it's crazy. I talk to people a lot about this. It's like you go to a restaurant down the street and like the owner there comes up to your table and introduces himself, right? And now, obviously I've never experienced anything like that being from California than, at the two schools I was at before. But no, like Leon, I mean, like I said, it's top down. Like Leon obviously has created like this great culture before I was here, and it's just continued, and the community support is unmatched. Obviously Montana football is what it is, and people in this state care so much about football, and it's so easy to see that, and it's so hard to leave as an athlete here just because, you got all these people that care about you, and I don't know. I get DMs all the time from, fans, and I've been able to create connections, with people in the community just through football, I guess. So it's been awesome. Hard to leave.
It's totally hard to leave. I think about this all the time because people ask me too, like, when are you going to go to a big city, blah, blah, blah. And I always think to myself, you go cover the Los Angeles Lakers, and maybe 1 million people in L.A. care about it. But then another 19 million people in L.A. don't give a rat's whatever about the Lakers, right? Like, if you're in Bozeman, you're a Bobcat, you're not going to really go anywhere where people aren't going to say what's up and tell you good job. I mean, if you go downtown Bozeman, every single business has a sticker of Bobcats right there, right? I mean, you walk around town, everybody's wearing cats. Like, the whole town, the whole community, the whole state cares about this stuff. And I just think that's so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I try to tell people back home about it, and it's hard to explain until you're really in it.
Yeah. It totally is, man. And then if you go to the small towns in Montana, then you really realize why. Because, especially some of your teammates that are from these tiny places, I mean, the whole freaking town is there. When it's Friday Night Lights, it's like everybody is there watching the game. So, pretty awesome. Justin Lamson joining us, Big Sam Breakdown, SkylineSportsMT.com, proudly presented in part by the Bobcat Collective. Bobcat Collective has helped keep a lot of these guys at Montana State, so they've done great work. If you want to sign up for the Bobcat Collective and help Montana State continue to make waves in the new age of college athletics, visit BobcatCollective.com. So when it comes to this spring ball, then talked to Coach Sturbeck for about half an hour last week. Really insightful talk, and he was talking about just sort of the details that you guys were able to sort of build upon now that you do have so much familiarity within the system. From your seat, how has it gone just as the quarterback, having a second year now into the system and having so many guys around you too that have sort of been in it and have been playing alongside you for this last year or so?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Sturbeck's doing a great job, and he's just putting a lot on us. And it's been great, like, because the expectation is obviously very high, and he's testing our limits, right? He's getting into different formations that we didn't even get to last year, different types of motions, different personnel groups we may not have gotten into, and it's obviously challenging at times, right? You're going into big installs each practice, and it's been great, though. I think we need to take that step as an offense and see who can, come up and rise to the occasion and, be in their playbooks, be in their scripts the night before practice, writing up their plays. But it's been awesome just, being able to elevate the offense, because I think there's so much we can do, with the guys that we have on the offense. We got a lot of weapons. But no, it's been awesome just being with Coach Sturbeck, learning from him again. It's my first spring camp with him, so it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you think that helps you just having a spring ball to actually work this stuff out? Because I think a lot of people forget you were in Bozeman last spring, but you weren't actually practicing with the team yet. So, I mean, do you feel like this is a good opportunity for you to sort of get extra time, extra reps, extra work?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, throughout my whole career, I've gotten the most reps this camp ever in my college career out of a whole spring camp. And it's been great just because I know and I appreciate Coach Vegan and Coach Sturbeck, because I think they want to see me take a step, and I know that I need to take a step. So just getting those extra reps, obviously there's going to be plays where, I don't execute where I need to execute, and just learning a lot about myself through the spring camp. But it's been good work for me, and, I'm loving it.
Well, a lot of proven commodities in terms of the guys catching the ball. You got a stacked group of receivers, stacked group of tight ends. I'm so interested on Saturday, though, to see some of the guys that are sort of up and coming, right? I mean, we know what Taco Dollar can do. We know what Jabez Woods and Dane Steele can do. We know what Rocky Lencioni can do. Like, those guys are all, all-conference type of players. Who else has stood out to you, though? Is there anybody that's been like a young guy that you've been throwing to, or that you've seen some of the other quarterbacks throw to that has been turning heads during spring?
Yeah, I'm happy you asked that, just because there are like so many young guys that I've been able to create a relationship with this spring ball. I didn't get the opportunity to throw with them in the season, But, I'll start with the receivers. Parker Mady. This guy's a dude, and a lot of people are going to learn.
Hearing a lot about him. We got multiple texts from people that have been watching practice saying this guy's sick.
Yeah, he's the real deal. Carter Dalkey, obviously a young guy. As a true freshman, or not even a true freshman yet, I've never seen a dude come into a camp like this and make that many plays. And then in the tight end room, Carter Kurnow is a guy I'm sure you've heard a lot about.
For sure.
Dude's a baller. And then Jordan Reed at receiver as well. And then, at the O-line position, Aiden Kaplan, who's been taking all our first team center reps, is a dude who's just kind of gelled right into JT Reed's spot, and I think he's had a great camp. And, as a quarterback, obviously that relationship's huge, and it's been easy adjustment for me. So, I don't know, I'm so excited. I could talk about all the new guys for like an hour, but I just think there's so many guys that are stepping up, and, we've had a couple old guys banged up, so it's been a lot of reps for the younger guys.
Not surprised by Kurnow, because he was one of those small-town Montana guys that was doing everything in high school, and he was asked to do so much, right? But now that he's just concentrating on football, I'm not surprised that he's really taking it to the next level. He was a sick basketball player. So, do you see that? Does he have, like, some jump ball abilities? How would you just describe the skill set he brings to that tight end spot?
Yeah, well, the first thing I'll say, he's a mean dude. Like, in the run blocking aspect of things.
Edge, yeah.
He's got an edge for sure, but it's kind of funny because he's like the nicest guy off the field. But no, I think like his pass game ability is really like elevated, and I think him and I have created like a good bond together and kind of got the timing down. But no, dude's a baller, and I don't know. I think the sky's the limit for that guy.
We're interested to hear about Aiden Kaplan as well, because I thought that was one of the key spots for you guys, is the interior offensive line, because you have a lot of options there, but who's going to play center, who's going to play guard, how do the dominoes sort of fall? But it sounds like you've built some good comfort there with Kaplan and probably some of the other guys too. I think you probably already know about Burke Mastles since he's played some center as well. But how have you sort of seen that part of the offensive position battles evolve? Because it seems like that's a key one for you guys on the interior.
Yeah, it's been fun, especially on the interior. Yeah, Aiden, I think him and I have taken almost every rep together, and I think it's so important. And I don't know. He's clear with his calls. Like, if he wants me to switch to protection, he's pretty clear with that. I think when I switch to protection, it's easy for him to get that to the rest of the O-line. And he's starting to find his voice now, getting a little bit of confidence. And he's just doing a great job. And obviously love playing with him. I think he's a really hard worker, and he's gritty as well. So I appreciate that about him.
Well, let's talk about what you have. I guess one last question on the spring ball, then we'll move on to your camps. But what do you hope to see? How do you hope to execute on Saturday with some fans in the stands and sort of put a cap on this spring session?
Yeah, I think it's just about being clean, right? Taking what the defense gives you, and then everybody doing our job, and that's kind of the model we had last year. And I think that is always going to play a factor in our offenses. If we do our 111th, we're going to be just fine. So, I hope that our offense comes out prepared and ready to go. And I know how good our defense is and, we got to bring our A game. So it's going to be fun competition, and it'll be great to see all the fans.
Well, let's tell people about the camps then, because you're going to host a couple camps. This has been a cool sort of thing that's emerged, right? Because I know there's a lot of different ways to do NIL, but I think that if you're doing something that's going to give back to the community, I think that's a great way to go about doing it, because it helps you guys make a little money, but also helps kids have a great experience. So, first of all, just tell people about the motivation for these camps, and then we'll sort of get into some of the details of these two sessions.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do like a youth camp. Just never felt like I had the platform to do it. So, I guess after last season, just felt like, it'd be a good time to do it. And obviously I went to Tacos camps last year and saw the community involvement. And, there was an opportunity presented to me where I could, do my own, and thought it would just be awesome. I've never done anything really like that. So looking to make it a great experience for every kid that comes out. And, I think there's a couple other players that are going to come out with me, and they're all excited for it. So it should be a good time.
July 18th in Billings, July 19th in Bozeman. So if people want to sign up, what's the best way for them to go about signing up for these?
Yeah, so Baker Bands is presenting the camp. They're a third party. Then if it's on my social media, on my Instagram and in my bio. So if they want to sign up, it's a pretty easy process. And yeah, so it should be pretty easy and simple. And if anybody has any questions, just reach out to me on social media. I'm pretty active on responding. So.
We'll put that link in the metadata of this video here as well. What's most exciting to you about working with the kids this summer?
Yeah, I think like the competition aspect of it, like we're gonna have prizes at the end, and getting to meet the kids. Like I know last year I met a lot of the kids at Tacos camps. Then you get to see them after the game, and they're like, "Oh, I remember you from Tacos Building Camp." And I think that's probably the coolest part about it, just because these kids, they look up to Montana State football players, and they get to hang out with us, and it makes our day again to hang out with them. So it should be fun.
What do you think of just the responsibility that comes with that? Because you're right. I mean, you might as well be whoever. I mean, a Super Bowl winning quarterback to some of these 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old kids, right? And that's awesome. It's so cool to see the love that a lot of the kids have for Montana State football guys. But I mean, what do you think of just sort of the responsibility that comes along with that?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a responsibility with it. You got to put. You got to be smart about what you do at all times. Like you're a figure in the community. I think that's the first thing. You're not only representing yourself, but you're representing Montana State Bobcats. So there's definitely a responsibility with that, and I think Coach Vegan actually does a good job of letting us know that. But regarding the camps, I think there's another responsibility is, people are paying money to come to these camps, and giving them the ability to have a great time and make it about the kids is the most important thing. So trying to do my best to make it to be a great atmosphere, and I think it will be. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, something will be fun again. July 18th in Billings, July 19th in Bozeman. Justin Lamson presenting some camps for youth. So you're doing the whole age group, right? Like everybody's invited.
Yeah, I did like 5 to 18, and kind of didn't want to put a cap on it, just because if someone wants to come that's a senior in high school, you might as well have them out there. You know what I mean? So I don't know how many older kids there will be. Like obviously there's a number of target kids that are usually going to show up, but it should be fun. I don't really care about the age. I just want everybody to come out and have a good time.
Okay, we'll certainly let you know more about these as the dates get closer. But good job on that, and thanks so much for being here today, man. Good luck on Saturday. We'll see you in Bozeman, but thanks so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Buying a car.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
What do you expect me to say to her? She's getting married in 30 minutes.
We're doing everything we can.
John, can you hear me? John.
Mountain Town Vacation Rental Management, your local partner for vacation rental success. We provide a fully customized hosting experience tailored to your needs and goals. Your home is listed on every major site, helping you maximize visibility and bookings. And our local team is available 24/7 to handle guest needs and booking inquiries. Let us take the stress out of managing your vacation home. Contact us today at mountaintownvrm.com or give us a call at 406-369-3080.
This is Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Radio Missoula.
Welcome back. 102.9 ESPN Radio. New number 41 at Montana State. I know this is something that gives Grizz fans a ton of consternation. But, you know, if you want to say the Bobcats copied the Grizz with the legacy number, whatever, that's fine. But the Grizz also didn't invent the legacy number. There's been legacy numbers at places like Texas A&M and Syracuse going back to like the early 1900s. So, I don't know. I mean, most of the best ideas are stolen anyways. I'm tired of talking about that whole part of the narrative. The fact of the matter is Montana State has a number 41 legacy number that's very similar to Montana's number 37. The number 41 is to pay homage to the 1941 Bobcats, who lost several players, actually more than a dozen players, in World War II. And it goes to a Montana kid that represents sort of the values and ethoses of toughness and what Montana State wants to be about. The new number 41, Caden Dowler. Second straight guy out of Billings West. Paul Brott gives the jersey to Caden Dowler. Dowler is the reigning Big Sky Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Hard to argue with his story of perseverance. I mean, he's had a ton of injuries. He's had an injury-riddled career, actually, and the fact that he's still been able to overcome that and be the MVP of the conference on a national championship team, it's a pretty cool deal. So, congratulations to Caden Dowler. We're up against it. Come back. Carol, she doesn't know sports. She has plenty on the draft and on Mike Vrabel. We'll hear from Jeff Safford talking all things Grizz softball. That's next. Keep it right here. 102.9 ESPN Radio.
Life can change in an instant. If you've been hurt in an accident, suffered from medical negligence, or are facing criminal charges, you don't have to face it alone. At Ryan Miller & Coburn, we're here to listen and fight for you. We're your neighbors, traveling across Montana to stand by your side as your link to justice. Real people, real help, right here in Montana. Ryan Miller & Coburn, your Montana attorneys.
DeMorris Buick GMC is ready to help you safely travel Montana's scenic roads in comfort and style. Stop by DeMorris today and test drive some outstanding SUVs. Right now, take advantage of closeout pricing on the exceptionally designed 2024 Buick Envision with models starting at $39,795. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to DeMorris.com to preview our inventory of 2024 Buick Envisions and then pay a visit to DeMorris Buick GMC on West Broadway in Missoula, your family-owned hometown dealership for over 60 years.
Life's about the journey, not the destination. Right? Why can't it be about both?
ESPN Radio for Western Montana, KKVU HD3 Stevensville, and 102.9 FM on K275BS Missoula. ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
Athletes and coaches from Montana and Montana State made waves on Wednesday. Hello, I am Colter Nuanez. At the Big Sky Women's Golf Tournament at the Wigwam Resort in Litchfield Park, Arizona, Montana State's Nora Seidel capped the week of a lifetime by shooting a final round 67 to force a playoff. In that playoff, Seidel drilled a putt from the fringe to outlast Northern Arizona's Lizzie Neal to become the fourth golfer in MSU history to take home the Big Sky Conference title. Seidel's efforts earns her a spot at the NCAA West Regional and helps Montana State finish third overall as a team. Montana freshman Katie Lewis, a Frenchtown product, shot a final round even par 71 to finish in a tie for 25th place to pace the Grizz as Montana finished 9th out of 10 teams. The Grizz tennis team took home a slew of top honors from the Big Sky. On the women's side, junior Kelsey Phillips went undefeated in Big Sky Conference play, and on Wednesday, the league announced she's the Big Sky Conference Player of the Year. Phillips went 8-0 in league matches, winning 6 of the 8 in straight sets. In Grizz men's tennis, Jason Brown was named the Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year for the second season in a row, and Tom Bittner was named the MVP of the league for the Grizz. Brown led UM to a 13-7 overall record and went 6-1 in conference play this season. Bittner is the third MVP in Grizz history after overcoming an injury to post a 5-2 record in singles in league play and lead the Grizz to the number 2 seed in this weekend's Big Sky tournament in Phoenix.
This ESPN Missoula Sports Center is presented by Canyon River Golf Club.
1, 2, 3.
Nuanez Now on ESPN Radio.
I wonder what we're going to talk about today.
Well, there just hasn't been anything gossipy or salacious in the news. So,
okay. So for anybody, it's funny. You're a social media person, right?
Yes.
You go on social media.
I do.
But you do not go on Twitter.
No.
There's such a distinct thing because there's Twitter people and then there's social media people. Mm-hmm. You like Instagram.
Yeah.
And Facebook.
And TikTok. Yeah.
Whereas, like, I hate Facebook. Like, I haven't gone on my I bet you I have 10 million notifications.
I'm not really
on
I mean, I'm on Facebook, but like I'll scroll it, but I don't really.
Like, I don't have the app. I don't have any. I don't. But I go on Twitter 50 to 75 times a day.
Do you think you're above me because it's like reading?
No.
Reading. So
no, I think it really is like what your brain is into, right?
No, I'm just joking.
Like, Instagram is very interactive and fun. Twitter is just information, though. Like, Twitter has such a cornered market with sports nerds, sports reporters. Like, it's such a perfect thing for sports.
Yeah, because it's quick and
you don't need any more. Like, like Francisco Mendoza or Fernando Mendoza. I called him Francisco yesterday too. Fernando Mendoza got drafted number 1 by the Las Vegas Raiders. Like that is a tweet, and that is the complete amount of information that you need about that.
Yeah.
What has been going on the last couple weeks with Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel is absolutely the heyday, golden moment of Twitter.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable how funny it is. I can't stop.
It's also on Instagram. It's funny.
I can't stop. It's crazy.
Well, let's update everyone that I'm sure they already know, but even more has come out with Rossini and Vrabel. Pictures from 2020 have surfaced.
So if you don't have any idea about this, Mike Vrabel's the head coach of the New England Patriots. Diana Rossini was a reporter that covered the NFL for a really long time. There was some pictures that leaked to the New York Post a couple weeks ago of them in Sedona canoodling and holding hands, and it looked like dancing and hugging and some weird stuff. And then that started a firestorm, and now here we are. with more pictures that came out, but these are from a long time ago, right?
So this was even before she was married.
Right.
So it's like she's already boning this guy. Why is she marrying someone else? Then she names her first son Michael. And then tweets, looking at my 4-day-old baby Michael and wondering what great NFL coaches and players there are named Michael. Like, just throwing it in our faces.
Man.
Now, her other son's name is Joe, so I was wondering what coaches' names are Joe, and if we need to investigate that.
Yeah.
Another photo came out of them in 2024. What?
I just pulled up Twitter just to have it up, and the latest tweet is from Antonio Brown, who once upon a time played for the Patriots, and because the Patriots have been enraptured in controversy for the duration of the last 25 years, whether it was Deflategate or Spygate Robert Kraft and the back alley, whatever the heck was going on with him. AB says maybe Mike Vrabel got confused. What type of cheating helps the Patriots win the Super Bowl?
That's pretty good.
It's pretty funny. Anyway, so these new pictures
all these pictures, 2020, 2024, have come out. I'm sure there's more. Mike was married. She was not. So last night we were in our group text talking about it, and you said something like, just say you were in an unhappy marriage, whatever.
Sure, right.
She wasn't even married.
Right.
And then he said something about his character. It's out of character for him. I'm sorry, a 6-year affair is your character. That shows your character.
For sure.
I'm fired up.
Yeah, I mean, there's the moral part of this. Like we could debate and analyze the morality of all of this. I think that most sane, normal people would say this is a completely immoral, heinous thing that has happened, and it's messing with two different families, and that's terrible. But then there's also like the professional part of this, and that's where you get into the weeds all the way.
Yeah,
it's very interesting to me though. Like where did the photos come from, the recent photos? Like, those have existed for 6 years. Why weren't they in the public until now? Did those people just not know that they could release them? Did they just, show their friends?
I don't know. I was thinking that, too, because one thought was they used them as blackmail or something. I don't know, because was she known 6 years ago?
It's a good question.
And maybe he took... Actually, I think I read on something that the person who took the pictures, they recognized him and thought she was his wife, the way they were interacting.
Yes.
And maybe they were taking pictures of him. So it wasn't scandalous to them to release them.
I also wonder if they just didn't know. Like, this has become such a huge story, so now there's a price tag to those pictures. Maybe these people just had the pictures and they had no idea.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, "Wait, well, I have these pictures.
I remember
Let's call the New York Post. Oh, this is worth $500,000. Okay, I'll sell you these pictures."
Yeah. Well, he is taking the weekend off from the NFL draft to be with his family, which I imagine don't really want to be around him right now, but he claims they need him right now, and it's not good. I wonder how I really feel bad for the spouses in this, and Diana's husband having a son named Michael. And I mean, can you imagine the mind F that would do to you? All this is already bad.
Yes.
And then having your son named after the person your wife is having an affair with?
Man.
Disgusting.
Nuanez Now tonight, ESPN Radio, Chicken Doesn't Know Sports. Well, I mean, do you know the Steve Nash story? Steve Nash was married, and his wife gave birth to, and Steve Nash is white. He's from Canada. His wife gave birth to a black child.
It wasn't his.
It certainly wasn't. So then Steve went down the docket of who on his team, and then realized it was one of his teammates, and then Steve Nash left Phoenix, and that was the end of that. Yeah, that's bad.
Wow.
Really, really bad.
And
not good.
Is she with?
No, I don't know. Actually, I never really followed that story after that. That was a long time ago, probably close to 20 years ago now. Actually.
Wow.
But then you get into there's Diana Seniority has lost her job at the Athletic. She resigned by her own doing, but I think it's probably like a mutual parting of ways. As I've stated over the last couple of weeks, her behavior is unethical from a journalism perspective. We're not talking about the morals of marriage. We're talking about from an actual professionalism of a journalist that is brokering information. So in that, I think that's pretty cut and dry. I don't really know how much more I have to say about that part. There's been so much talk, though, about Vrabel. And how does this affect his standing with the Patriots? And I know people hate to hear this, but the NFL is a results-based billion-dollar business. None of this matters to Mike Vrabel as a coach. All that matters is if he wins and loses.
Except what we talked about last week, which was that she may have received information that helped him acquire a player.
True.
And I just saw someone talk about this, that the NFL is not investigating this. They are just leaving it. They are not. But there's proof in the last 6 months to a year to more that there has been a lot of her stories have benefited the Patriots or the team that he's been coaching.
Sure, right, because he was with the Titans beforehand.
So they should probably look into this. I don't know if they will. I mean, they let players run people over and just suspend them for a couple games. So, I mean, a coach boning a reporter, that's like nothing compared to some of the stuff they deal with.
Here's what it comes down to is that this is going to impact Mike Vrabel's personal life, certainly. Then does that impact on his personal life affect his professional life? That's where then he could get into hot water. Right now, he just won the AFC. They just played in the Super Bowl. So his job is I mean, he's untouchable at this exact moment. But if next year, and make no mistake, he's in the Boston media market. Like, there is going to be a question about this every single time he comes to the podium.
Yeah.
And he is a crazy person, so he is going to tell these reporters to stop and, like, shut up, and this is not a deal. And they're not going to stop asking. There will actually be, I bet you, people embedded in New England that don't cover the NFL whatsoever. They will literally be covering this scandal.
Yeah.
And they will be asking Vrabel about this week in and week out. If he can handle that, like let's say his family leaves him and he's bombarded by questions weekly. If he can handle that and still wins games, then by next year, this will all be gone. If it makes him crumble, though, and they are terrible, or like it becomes a distraction and he loses the locker room, now all of a sudden this is impactful for his job.
When you go into a press room, do they ever say, like, you cannot ask about this?
Well, they can tell you that, but you don't have to listen.
Still ask. Yeah. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Because I imagine that would be what will happen. But
well, and that's the world we live in now, too, right? Because you could say, there used to be a lot of times they would threaten you with your access and your credentials and stuff like that. But now the world is just such an open highway of information. Like if you cut this person's, if you say, don't ask this question, and then you ask the question, and then they say, you're not invited back to these, we're cutting your access, that's way worse for you. Because then that person is just going to write or talk completely openly and completely unfettered.
Right.
And just kill you.
Yeah.
It's like people always ask me, like, "What are you ever worried about being critical about the Grizz or the Cats?" And the answer is no, because if they like cut off my access, then it would be way worse. Because then I'll just say whatever.
Take them down.
Because then you just say whatever you want,
right?
And like I still try to say my opinion and give my analysis as much to my truth as I can. But like, you don't. What does one of my old editors always say? You don't want to start a war with somebody that prints ink by the barrel or that brokers ink by the barrel. Like the pen is mightier than the sword. Like the pen wins always because you can control the information so much more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
It's going to be interesting to see where her career goes because, I mean, she literally just. I think she really ruined her career, and she was a good journalist, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And it's just like keep in your pants, people.
Man.
I don't know how often I have to say this, but it feels like all the time.
All the time. So I want to know who Chicken Does No Sports here at ESPN Radio. I want to know who Sprint86 is on Twitter, because this person commented on 4 different tweets of Diana Rossini's in March of 2020. And this is when those pictures that came out this week of them canoodling 6 years ago were time-stamped the first 3 months of 2020.
Yeah, it was March of 2020.
March of 2020.
Yeah, in New York City or something like that.
Sprint86 on Twitter, who has 104 followers, commented on 4 different Diana Rossini tweets. Are you sleeping with Mike Vrabel?
It's probably her husband.
Like one tweet, it was about when the Titans were, this is when Vrabel was the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. They said the Titans are not interested in Tom Brady. They're working hard to get a deal done with who was their current quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, per sources. Are you sleeping with Vrabel? Like they just did this over and over again. How does Sprint86 know about this?
Maybe Sprint 86 is the one who took the pictures.
Well, that person had a nice day because I bet you how much do you think the New York Post paid for those pictures?
I don't know. I don't know what.
$500,000?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what they pay for this stuff anymore. Even $100K. Well, even like you just happen to have a picture on your phone and you can make. I don't know. There is a moral thing to it too, though. You know, like this is really going to take down a family.
Yes.
Two families
for sure.
How much are you Googling?
I mean, maybe it won't. I don't know.
That her husband has to divorce her.
Doesn't it seem like he's such a simp that he's just not?
We discussed this last week. There is no possible way he cannot divorce her now. I mean, if I was that guy's mom, I'd be like, what do you need me to do to get out of this? Like, you cannot be treated this way. This is disgusting.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It was bad enough how she spoke about him in public, but then to embarrass him like this. And I looked him up. He looks like he's cute. He looks like a good guy. Like, he's got a great job. Like, what is he doing?
Okay, last thing on this, then we can move on. I also think this is so fascinating that it's like the king of new age modern multimedia is Bill Simmons. He's the guy that created Grantland and The Ringer, and The Ringer Podcast Network is probably the biggest podcast network outside of Barstool Podcast Network that exists in sports right now. The Bill Simmons podcast gets millions of downloads every single episode. Bill Simmons is a Boston guy. Diana Rossini used to contribute on his podcast often. Mike Vrabel is the head coach of his favorite football team. Bill Simmons has not said a single word about this.
He hasn't.
Over the last 3 weeks. That's not uncommon. Several of the other big-time podcast people that are covering the NFL aren't touching this because they were all professionally associated with one of these two or both.
She's probably sleeping with all of them.
That's the part that I would think would be the most sickeningly entertaining part of all of this, is to see the scrambling that's going on behind the scenes for all these people.
And their wives are
That's what I mean. Like, Bill Simmons' wife is like,
give me your phone.
So you had Diana on 16 times in the last 3 years, huh, Bill?
Yeah.
Let me see the texts. Like, let's see how you set this up. But that's all the coaches, too. I'm sure, like, all the coaches' wives are like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Did you work with this woman? Like, oh, man. That's the part where I think she can land on her feet as somebody that produces content. She cannot land on her feet as somebody that is an investigative reporter.
She's been landing on her back.
Man. Jeez. She can't be an investigative reporter anymore, though, because now everybody will just doubt all of her scoops because there's just this implication that she was using herself to get these things.
Yeah, I don't know what she's going to do. I would, if I were her crisis manager, I would tell her to go away for a while, and then I'd just be like, retire, be done, hide out, raise your family. You've got money. She's got money.
Does she have money?
I think so. She made quite a bit of money.
Man, I don't know. You'd be surprised. I bet you she was making like good money, but like
I think she was making good money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in a few, I would actually change my name and then try and get back into the world, but or just start OnlyFans. She can do like a football themed OnlyFans or something.
I just can't believe how well this is catered to Twitter. It's just crazy.
You know, the thing I said last night in our group text, I love to see this, and it's not because I want to see I feel bad for the spouses and the kids, but I love seeing them get caught.
Yeah.
Because it's just gross.
Do you feel bad for her that the fallout's worse for her than him?
That's a good question. No, yes and no. I mean, we've talked about when you're a reporter, you have standards to uphold and you have protocol.
Oh, wow. She was making $2 million a year at the Athletic.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You just ruined your life.
I know.
She is fine, but that's stupid. If you're making $2 million to be a reporter.
That's the thing. It's like you are living your dream. I'm sure her dream was to be a sports reporter of some
Well, it seems like her dream was to be Mike Bravel's wife.
Right. 6 years?
Yikes.
Holding on for 6 years?
Man.
She's kind of pathetic.
Totally. Well, hasn't he been married for like 26?
Yeah, I mean, she's probably not the first.
And he ain't leaving his wife at
well,
this point.
she might be leaving
the other way
him.
around, yeah, for sure.
Anyway, we could talk about this for hours. And
yes, we could.
I'll never not be entertained by it. Although I do feel bad for their especially their kids,
for sure,
and the spouses too, of course. But to have and this poor Michael Rossini or whatever, like
poor guy.
This poor guy is gonna change his name when he can. I bet.
Man.
Okay.
Chicken Nuzzle Sports Pie presented by Freedom Energy Solutions. Tell us.
I don't have it with me. You're going to have to do it after.
That's fine.
I was looking for it, and I totally forgot to print it. But Coulter will do the live read for Freedom Solutions after this. My apologies. Okay. The NFL draft started last night. Our sweet little Fernando was number 1 pick. Now, do you think he'll stay in Vegas? Or
Well, he sort of has to.
He does? Okay. Did he get good money? Like, what?
Well, okay, that's an interesting question. So this got all the way off the rails about 15 years ago because there was no structure to the salaries that were guaranteed for top 10 picks.
Okay.
So guys were getting like crazy amounts of money. This came to a head when Sam Bradford was the number 1 overall pick and got $50 million guaranteed. He never played a snap in the NFL. He got $50 million guaranteed. The NFL redid this because that became – it's not only – like just stupid investment. It also was like ruining locker rooms.
Yeah,
because like you'd have this guy that's never played before, and he's the second highest paid player on the team. And he's like 21 years old. And you're like, this is not how this goes. So they restructured it now, and so I think the number 1 draft pick makes like $5.8 million. So like good money
for 1 year.
1 year, yeah. Usually they'll sign like a 3-year deal with a 4th year as an option for somewhere between 20 and 25 million.
Great.
So yeah, he's got some endorsement deals too. He's got AT&T deal.
I predict that Fernando's going to play in the NFL for like 6 years and then retire from the NFL and do some corporate thing.
Man, maybe
because he's so smart that he's like, I don't want to beat up my body.
It's like the next Andrew Luck, walk away early.
Yep, exactly. That's my prediction. Okay, well, the other part of the NFL draft that we were talking about earlier were their outfits. They all looked so cute this year. They all seem
It's been one of the bigger improvements in fashion in the world.
Yeah.
Because the guys used to they would just look so awkward because no one knew how to go get fit for suits and
they had too much jewelry. There was always too much jewelry. In
a lot of time now these guys are getting this stuff like either fronted or like they're endorsing it or whatever. Like you go look at those like 80s and 90s drafts. Like these guys just went down to like Macy's and like they're all 6'5", 275 pounds. They're trying to get suit.
Like,
they look
fat
just
guy
look
in a little coat.
Look so bad. And now these guys all look good.
Well, they look great, and a lot of them. There was a trend of the inside, the lining of the coat being something meaningful. So. Cornell Tate, is that the right name? He had his mom who passed away last year and his sister's names inside, which is super cute. Caleb Downs had it looked like family photos or something in there. And then this one kid, his last name's Reese. So he was sponsored by Reese's.
That's good.
And so he had all these Reese's liner, and I was like, now that is a coat I would wear.
Yes.
Because I'm all down with that peanut butter chocolate.
Did you see this one where Peter Woods, he bought all his whole family matching color coordinated suits, dresses and stuff. Yeah, everybody's wearing white. He's wearing the black suit.
Cute. Yeah, I liked this year. I felt like it was cute. I still don't understand why people spend what they spend to go to the NFL draft. And I'll never understand that. But you know what? It's not my business.
Hey.
So... but they all seemed really cute and sweet and grateful, and they all thanked God first and foremost, their Savior. So I appreciated that. I like a little gratefulness in my NFL draft.
My wife was making fun of the people that go so bad because, when your team is up and you got it's like you're at a game, you're dressed in all your garb, you got the face paint. She's going crazy. So I can't remember what the pick was, but it was like a defensive end out of Ohio State, and she was like, how do these people know about the defensive end at Ohio State? I was like, oh, they don't. They're just screaming for their team.
Right.
And if they do know, it's just because they read about it on the internet 2 weeks ago. Like they're just listening to what the draft pundits say, but it's very, very unlikely if it's not a quarterback that you know anything about this guy. You're just going crazy because it's your team up on the screen.
Yeah.
It is a hilarious thing to spend money on.
It's so strange.
To fly to Pittsburgh and watch
in this economy
a guy go up to a podium and read a name. It is
and you're not
wild.
even going to meet him. It's not like you get to meet this guy.
No.
It's so so strange.
And they talk for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like they get their hat and then they get the sideline interview for 2 questions and then it's over.
Yeah.
It's totally crazy.
How were the moms this year? Because last year we were commenting that there were some hot moms.
The moms keep getting younger. We stay the same age. It's weird.
Yep. Well, one thing, Travis Hunter's wife.
Didn't she leave him?
No.
Oh, okay.
How dare you?
I thought they broke up or something.
No.
Okay.
She put out like a funny little post about like do's and don'ts being the girlfriend at the draft. And one of the things was let the mom hug him first.
Yes.
Very important. Now, if you're the wife...
If you're already married.
But if you're the girlfriend, let mom hug him.
Yeah.
So just find that as a mother, very important distinction.
Yeah, there was one guy that snubbed his girlfriend. She went in for the kiss, and he gave her the side cheek. It's pretty icy.
See,
and then she was standing there like, "Oh no!"
If you're going to bring your girlfriend to the draft, you better be nice to your girlfriend at the draft.
Right.
Like, don't bring her if you're going to ice her out.
Totally.
So that's my advice. You don't have to bring her.
You don't have to bring her.
In fact, I almost think you shouldn't.
I mean, depends on like how serious the relationship is, but like some of these guys they're 20 years old, so like how serious could it possibly be? You've probably known this woman for 2 years.
How many kids are engaged or married on college football teams now?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it is crazy. But to be fair, a lot of these guys are like now, especially like at the smaller schools, they're way older because they had get all these extra years because of COVID and all this stuff. Is this
the last COVID year?
Yes, we're
person?
Okay. This is actually a positive thing. Check out those sports here on ESPN Radio. Like this recruiting class for in the state of Montana, for example, for football is as good as it's been in a decade plus. In girls basketball, as good as it's been for a decade plus. I really think it's because the kids that are coming out of high school right now, they did not go to high school in COVID. They had a normal high school experience. They started after and they finished after. Mm-hmm. And it's like normal. They didn't have to do weird COVID stuff.
Right.
I really think that the COVID kids in high school messed kids up.
I think it did in a lot of places, not here. Montana's no. Well,
the sports are. I guess what I'm saying is the sports are better because they got to have a full cycle. Like those kids were playing in front of. Like they didn't get to practice as much. They didn't get to go as many camps. They didn't. Their development just wasn't as normal.
You're right. Yep, that's true.
Like if you were let's say a sophomore and a junior in 20 and 21, mm-hmm. like you just didn't get to have the normal sports experience. So it delays your like development as an athlete. I think.
I agree with that.
I just don't think it's a coincidence that right now these kids are awesome. Like all the kids in Montana right now are sweet.
Exciting.
It is exciting.
I know.
All right, what else you got?
All right, did you see the Mariners game where the pitcher caught a 108-mile-an-hour ball in his shirt?
No.
So I don't know who they were playing. Someone who wears green and yellow, and the guy pitched.
Someone who wears green and yellow.
He hit the ball, and he's like, "Where's the ball?" No one could find the ball, and then it's in his shirt. And see, that's it right there. So
Whoa,
he's like,
crazy.
"Well, where?" I don't know how he didn't get hurt. And it was counted as a hit, and the guy they gave him a base.
Amazing.
Yeah.
They're playing the Athletics. Yes, they are in fact green and yellow. Good job.
Thank you. I just didn't know.
Wow, what a crazy highlight.
I know. Isn't that cool?
Total game of inches. I mean, if that hits him
a
little bit to the side, that shatters one of his ribs.
Yeah.
If that hits him in the I mean, you could die if it hits you right in the heart. I mean, that ball is smashed.
Smashed. They said it was 108 miles an hour.
It hits you in the head. I mean, oh boy. Yeah, he's pretty lucky.
I know.
He doesn't even care if it's a hit. Way better to be dead.
I know. Crazy, huh?
Man. When I was in high school, a guy hit a comebacker like that, and it killed the pitcher.
Oh, my God.
Killed him dead.
In like a high school player?
A high school player, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Brandon Patch.
Oh.
Yeah, Miles City.
That's so
we were not playing in the game, but we were at the tournament, and it was horrible. Miles City, I don't know if Miles City uses aluminum bats again, but forever, Miles City Little League and Miles City Legion Baseball went to just wood bats.
That makes sense.
Because they were so freaked out by this.
Yeah.
How could you not be?
Well, way to bring down the show.
I know.
Okay.
R.I.P. Brandon Patch.
Last story, and you're going to be really excited about this. I figured out how to make you a bunch of money.
Wow, I need it. So let's go.
Guess what's coming out on TV?
Sports Jeopardy. Okay. The controversy of this, have you seen the controversy?
Joe Buck?
Yeah, people are
Who
like,
is he?
why? Who is crazy. He's one of the most famous announcers in the world, but he's also like 58 years old. So a lot of people are mad about this because they think that they should have hired like a young and up and comer, like an influencer, like a Jake Paul, or I Need Speed or whatever. What's that guy's name?
I don't. Clavicular?
To be free speed or something.
I don't know, but absolutely not. We do not need any more influencers. Oh my God!
Isn't that all we all are anymore?
No, I'm not an influencer. I wish. I can't even influence my children. I don't know who Joe Buck is, but I don't know why people are mad. If he's a famous sports announcer,
NFL and baseball announcer,
why would people be mad that he host Sports Jeopardy?
I mean, it seems pretty logical, yeah.
They should have had Aaron Rodgers host it.
Oh boy,
because he was on Jeopardy,
right?
But what do I know?
So how do you try out?
All right, I looked it up and I don't know, but I'm going to find out and you're going on it.
Okay, let's go.
Because it seems like it's a no-brainer to get you on there.
There used to be this. So ESPN had this guy. They called him the Schwab, and he was the the buck stops here editor for all statistics that went on all the ESPN shows. And this guy was like a savant. He had every number in his head. And he used to be able to go and have a trivia game. That was the show was called Stump the Schwab. And you had to go play a trivia game with this guy. And only 3 guys ever won. But I used to sit at home and play that game on the TV when I was a kid.
What are we doing with our lives? Why don't we do this at Press Box or something?
Stump the Nuanez.
Nuanez.
Okay, great. Let's go.
Oh my God, I'm pitching it next week. Yeah, I think you should go on Sports Jeopardy and win it.
That would be awesome. It would be sort of embarrassing if I didn't win, though.
You know, I have a story. My brother was on Jeopardy.
Wow.
Real Jeopardy.
Real Jeopardy. How did he do?
He did not win.
Man, and he's really smart, right?
Well, obviously, he went on Jeopardy.
Right, yeah.
And what really made him so mad is it was a Shakespeare question, and he was he wasn't an English major, but that was his thing, and he knew the answer, but he got it wrong, and it was pretty devastating, and I'm sure he really appreciates me talking about it on the radio. But here we are.
Well, you show me how, and I'm down to give it a run.
Okay, I'm gonna get you on.
I lost on the last word of the county spelling bee. I'd won the school and the city, and then I lost I got second place in the county when I was in 5th grade.
I'm sorry,
and it still haunts me. Here we are, 30 years later, and I'm still sad about it.
Yeah,
it's really devastating.
Yeah. These are the things that shape us as humans. So
I still don't think I spelled it wrong either.
What was the word?
Itemize.
How did you spell it?
How it's spelled, and I swear they didn't get me. And maybe they just misheard me, but I thought about this a million times.
Too
obviously.
Bad back in those days we didn't have the video.
Right.
Because then we could have rolled tape, had receipts.
Itemize. I-T.
E-M-I-Z-E.
Yeah. Man.
I want to know how they think you spelled it.
I don't know. I want to recount.
All right. Well, I'm sorry about that. But
tell me how to get on the Sports Jeopardy. I'm interested.
If anyone knows, help us out. But I will find out, and we're going to get you on.
Great.
Maybe I'll go on it and look like a real dork who doesn't know anything.
So is it going to be all the time, or is this just a special
couple weeks? Well, right now it's a special, and it's on Disney and Hulu, and then ABC might pick it up, and then we'll see what happens. I think it's great. In fact, I used to want to go on Rock and Roll Jeopardy.
See, that's where it's really
when that was on VH1, I was so good at that.
Man.
And then that went away.
Do you think the history of rock and roll is still a class at the university? That was the most fun entry-level class.
Yeah, and in fact, I think
you got a fine arts credit for it, so everybody would take it because you have to have a fine arts no matter what, your undergrad
I think it is still a class, and then they had history of rap.
Man, that would also be fun.
I know.
Yeah, we need Robert Chase to teach history of rock and roll and Raheem Seabrook to teach
let's start our own
the history of hip hop, right? I mean, that would be money. Both those would be money.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, we'll find out about Sports Jeopardy and figure this out. Get you on.
Great, can't wait.
All right.
Chicken Does No Sports here on ESPN Radio. Freedom Energy Solutions, proud to present Chicken Does No Sports. Freedom Energy is a premier solar energy installer servicing all of Montana, more than 20 years of solar installation experience. As I always remind you, we're moving towards not just a future, a present in which everything's solar. You're either going to be getting your own solar or you're going to be buying your solar from somebody else. So might as well do it. There's a lot of benefits to this. You can lower your energy expenses. You can also build equity within your home, and of course the environmental benefits as well. Appreciate Freedom Energy Solutions for their continued support of what we got going on here at ESPN Radio, especially their sponsorship of the Chicken Doesn't Know Sports.
You forgot about our other sponsor.
Yeah, thanks for the yoga. I did it. I got it. Made my comeback. I'm all the way in. I'm coming now. Wednesdays.
Right.
Yeah,
Wednesdays, 8 a.m.
Thought it was great.
Yeah, it was an easy class, I will say.
It was easy. Yeah. It was easy.
I texted you and said this is a good one.
Some of these gals were touching their toes to their noses. I'm like, I am not built like this. And
Not yet.
I don't think I could probably do it every day for the rest of my life. I don't think I could do some of the moves that some of these gals do, which is fine. It's still very beneficial, and it very much relaxes you. It's a really good workout. All that stuff.
It was a fun class. That was a good one.
There's some impressive athletes in there. I'm telling you. Yeah, you're doing great. You're awesome at it.
I'm getting there.
A couple of those gals. Then I heard them talking about how they're like professional ballerinas. Afterwards, they had like a dance thing coming up this weekend.
Or are they the cabaret people?
I don't know. They were like all inviting each other to each other's dance performances and stuff. And I'm like, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
No wonder you guys are Gumbies that can do whatever you want in here.
No, I can't do any of that. But I'm definitely better than I was when I started.
Well, one of my buddies, my lifting partner, is going to come with us, so we're going to have to block off about a quarter of the room because he's about twice my size. So this will be a lot of guy in one corner.
A lot of man.
A lot of beef. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My brother calls our golf team the 1,000-pound gorillas. So here we are.
Well, that'll be fun.
Chicken Doesn't Know Sports here on ESPN Radio. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
If you're in search of a trading card of your favorite player, or if your kids are, swing into Zootown Sports Cards. If there's a card of a player you're searching for, Zootown Sports Cards has the cards. With an almost endless collection of singles and inserts, whatever and whoever you're in the market for, Zootown Sports Cards has it. 1990s NBA stars, Zootown has it. 2000s football players, Zootown has it. And looking through the collection is half of the fun. Come check out all of what Zootown Sports Cards has to offer in the Stevens Center in Missoula.
Cravings? The Montana Club has got you covered with scratch-made comfort food to match every craving. From perfectly grilled steaks to satisfying salads, they're ready to handle your hunger. So grab a table with a reservation or keep it casual and order delivery straight to your door. Great food made easy. Visit MontanaClub.com to order or reserve and come warm up at your Montana Club. Brooks and North Reserve, Missoula.
Are you a sports fan who loves to win? Get in on the action with Sportsbet Montana. Bet on collegiate and professional baseball, football, hockey, basketball, and more, all while keeping the money right here in Montana. It's easy and secure on our kiosks and mobile app. Head to your favorite Sportsbet Montana retail location to catch the game, place your bets, and celebrate your wins. Sportsbet Montana. Learn more at sportsbetmontana.com.
No matter what you can imagine, no matter what you can possibly dream, no matter what your heart desires, Jewelry Design Center can make it for you.
There's a bit of a collaboration, whether it's buying something out of the case that's ready to go, or customizing it, or starting from scratch and literally creating a drawing in your own personal vision.
Jewelry Design Center at 2501 Brook Street, your jeweler for life. There's almost no argument. Canyon River Golf Club in East Missoula is the premier public golf course in the state of Montana. Superintendent Caleb has the greens running fast, and your approach shots better be true because everything around the green is fast too. Canyon River makes it easy for you to book a tee time. You can visit online and book any time at CanyonRiverGolfClub.com. If you have any doubt, leave no doubt. The Canyon River is the premier public golf course in the state of Montana. Visit online, CanyonRiverGolfClub.com.
Make the switch to Farmer State Bank and you'll instantly become part of something bigger, something different, something more. That's because we are a community bank. That means local banking, local decision making, local support for the people, businesses, and communities you care about. Switch to local. Switch to Farmer State Bank, your Montana bank since 1907. An equal housing lender and member FDIC.
ESPN Missoula Sports Center.
Athletes and coaches from Montana and Montana State made waves on Wednesday. Hello, I am Colter Nuanez. At the Big Sky Women's Golf Tournament at the Wigwam Resort in Litchfield Park, Arizona, Montana State's Nora Seidel capped the week of a lifetime by shooting a final round 67 to force a playoff. In that playoff, Seidel drilled a putt from the fringe to outlast Northern Arizona's Lizzie Neal to become the fourth golfer in MSU history to take home the Big Sky Conference title. Seidel's efforts earns her a spot at the NCAA West Regional and helps Montana State finish third overall as a team. Montana freshman Katie Lewis, a Frenchtown product, shot a final round even par 71 to finish in a tie for 25th place to pace the Grizz as Montana finished 9th out of 10 teams. The Grizz tennis team took home a slew of top honors from the Big Sky. On the women's side, junior Kelsey Phillips went undefeated in Big Sky Conference play, and on Wednesday, the league announced she's the Big Sky Conference Player of the Year. Phillips went 8-0 in league matches, winning 6 of the 8 in straight sets. In Grizz men's tennis, Jason Brown was named the Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year for the second season in a row, and Tom Bittner was named the MVP of the league for the Grizz. Brown led UM to a 13-7 overall record and went 6-1 in conference play this season. Bittner is the third MVP in Grizz history after overcoming an injury to post a 5-2 record in singles in league play and lead the Grizz to the number 2 seed in this weekend's Big Sky tournament in Phoenix.
This ESPN Missoula Sports Center is presented by Canyon River Golf Club. It's Nuanez Now on 102.9 ESPN Missoula. Watch the show statewide on SWX Montana Television.
Down here live at the Grizz softball field, 102.9 ESPN Radio, the ESPN MT app, SWX Montana. Jeff Safford reporting on the Montana Grizzlies softball team. They are getting ready for a huge weekend here in the last weekend of April. They will be hosting a 3-game series opposite Idaho State, the 8-4 Grizzlies in terms of where they are in the Big Sky Conference. If they win 2 out of 3 on their home field in Missoula this weekend, they will be Big Sky Conference champions. And with us now is a senior with the Grizz softball program, Chloe Saxton, out of Seattle, Washington. Chloe, congratulations on your team's success to this point.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to talk with you today.
So it's been a season in which you weren't expected to be in this position with a chance to claim a Big Sky regular season conference championship. Your team was picked to finish dead last in this conference. What's it been like just to be able to get to this point to prove all the doubters wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been huge for us. You know, obviously there's only a handful of returners coming back, but we all are definitely very hungry, and to have so many newcomers and young kids coming on the team, I think it's great to have kind of their new, fresh perspective. So kind of all of that coming together for some wins on the board is pretty awesome.
And something that's been kind of talked about with this group has been the youth of this team, and with it being a relatively new reboot of the program that makes sense, but it's been that just figuring out how to compete at this level. Do you think you've seen a lot of growth in that, just figuring out college softball in general?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think all of our freshmen are so impressive. They've come in and really just shown their stuff and proven that they all deserve to be here. So it's really awesome to see them kind of step up in that way and kind of take over.
Now, this past weekend, one of the highlights on the road was thinking about that sweep with Weber State, was your ability to come back from a big deficit. You had a 6-run deficit in Game 2 of that series, but were able to erase it. What were some of the keys to just keeping yourselves cool in the dugout?
Yeah, I think one thing that Coach Steph always talks about is focusing on the game and focusing on the pitch in front of us instead of what's going on the scoreboard. So I think kind of keeping that mentality and trusting our stuff, trusting that we've worked hard enough to make it happen is really important, and just kind of all banding together to do that.
Visiting with Grizz softball here on 102.9 ESPN Radio, the Grizzlies will be hosting Idaho State this weekend with a chance to claim the Big Sky Conference regular season championship. The winner of 2 of 3 of that series will be the champ. No other team alive in the Big Sky Conference race. Now, yourself, you're a senior. Is a little bit of a different mentality thinking about it being a veteran leader. Yes, such a new program, but just trying to lead this group?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is a bit of a different mentality, just in the fact that I'm kind of trying to leave behind something. So some wins this weekend would be huge to kind of push them into next year. But I think all of us are ready and hungry for it, no matter the class.
Maybe walk us through what some of your avenues took you, or how did you end up in Montana in general?
I I got recruited by the coaching staff my summer after my junior year, and just with a lot of conversations between them, I fell in love with Montana, and kind of eventually there was no other option. I was just enamored by it, so yeah.
Success as a group, a lot can be made of. Again, visiting with Grizz Softball on ESPN Missoula has been the success of your offense, and this group has been able to hit a lot of bombs, close to 40 home runs to this point on the season. But a lot of times it's a lot of the other things that you do outside of just the home run, stealing bases, hitting runs, being able to pick up as many as 18 hits in your last road trip. How is it important to be able to hit 1 through 9 in a multitude of different ways to have success?
I think it's huge. I mean, we always talk about there's so many different ways to get on base and to score runners, and just kind of making sure that we're just getting 60 feet as much as we can. So kind of doing everything that we can, whether it's a hit, a stolen base, a sac bunt, anything like that.
Also on the pitching side of things, Kara Sweet, amongst others, have been fantastic in the circle. What have been some of the biggest keys that you've seen to them having recent success in the circle?
Yeah, I think our pitching staff is so incredible. They've really come together and found ways to motivate each other and learn from each other, which has been really huge. But just having the support of our coaching staff, as well as Maddie, our catcher, calls a lot of their pitches. And so it's really amazing to see their chemistry out on the field, and I think that contributes to a lot of the success.
Now, your team has been able to spend a good chunk of this season on the road, playing softball in the treasure state of Montana. A lot of times, elements aren't exactly in your favor, but you've been able to have a lot of these unique trips to different places. And myself, as a minor league baseball guy as well, I've spent a few, I guess you could say, hours on a bus and or team plane. What's it been like getting to know this group off the field?
It's a lot of fun. There's definitely a lot of personalities and big personalities coming through, so it's really a lot of fun to kind of see who people are off the field and their differences there, but it's fun. They're a fun group.
Do you have any highlights of team trips on the road? I know sometimes what happens on the bus stays on the bus, so if there's some things that are untouchable, so to speak, we'll leave that maybe for off mic time, but any fun stories?
I don't know if I have specifics, but I definitely say it's always a fun vibe on the bus. There's definitely a lot of conversations and games and singing, whatever it may be going on. So it's definitely fun to hear all the different sections of the bus having fun. And then, yeah, sorry, that was it.
Grizz Softball getting ready for a huge weekend, hosting Idaho State on Saturday and Sunday, a doubleheader on Saturday afternoon, and then one game Sunday. The winner of that series will be the Big Sky regular season title winners. Now, thinking about where this program was last year, for a lot of people, it would be seemingly impossible for Grizz Softball to be in this position. How do you not focus on that and just focus on the challenge at hand? And where did you find the confidence to get to this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of flipping that switch and knowing that this is a new season, it's a new team, and there's every opportunity in front of us. I think the coaching staff, especially Coach Steph, really inspires a lot of confidence in us and allows us to kind of believe that anything is possible. I mean, she's been telling us that all year, and so it's hard not to believe it when she says that so much and you start to see glimmers of it. So yeah, just seeing the team come together so much really puts a lot of hope in my heart, at least.
And going back to that sweep against Weber State, that was a team that was looked at to be a Big Sky contender, and you had a lot of struggles against them, hadn't beaten Weber State since 2023, going back to last weekend, but you're able to get the monkey off the bat and get a win against a contender. Does that give you confidence going into this weekend against the Bengals?
Yeah, it gives me a lot of confidence just seeing our fight last weekend, especially, like you said, fighting back from a deficit. It really shows that we can do anything we put our minds to. So fighting that kind of opponent is definitely a great lead-in to this week.
Grizz Softball getting ready for Saturday and Sunday. The Idaho State Bengals will be in town. They were the preseason favorites in the coaches poll, and they have been the top dog in the Big Sky Conference going back the last number of seasons. What have you seen from the Bengals on film, and what challenges do they present?
Yeah, I mean, I think their main challenge is just their hitting lineup. We all know that Idaho State is strong in that sense, and just their ability, kind of like you said earlier, just to bat 1 through 9. They definitely have a very strong lineup, so keeping their hitters at bay is going to be really important for us.
What do you think some of the biggest keys for your group individually will be to be able to get success here at home?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of in a sense doing what we've been doing, just kind of believing in ourselves, having the right energy and the right mindset going into it, and just doing everything we can to get on base, everything we can to keep them off base, like that kind of thing.
Grizz softball on Saturday and Sunday. What are you looking forward to from this opportunity, being able to play in front of the fans here in Missoula?
It's so amazing. I love the fans here in Missoula. I was actually just thinking about this today. This is my last opportunity to play in front of everyone on this field, and I'm just so grateful for it. I think our fans are truly unique and so amazing, and so just being able to show our stuff and have this amazing opportunity in front of us with the best fans.
They'll look for success on Saturday and Sunday, trying to punch their Big Sky Conference Championship, going from last to first, hopefully, if you're a Montana Grizzly. They'll host the Idaho State Bengals doubleheader Saturday, and then one game Sunday. The winner of the series will be Big Sky Conference champs. Thanks for visiting with us today. Jeff Safford here on 102.9 ESPN Missoula, live from the Grizz softball field.
Buying a car shouldn't be an adventure.
Bring the whole family to the Stone of Accord for a wonderful brunch. From traditional comfort food to eclectic specials, there's something for everyone to enjoy. And it wouldn't be a proper Missoula brunch without an Irish coffee and a mimosa. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino. At the Stone of Accord, we use the freshest ingredients to create our homemade traditional Irish classics, fresh salads, and creative specials. Come enjoy our warm, family-friendly atmosphere. The Stone of Accord, Irish fare with Montana flair. Restaurant, liquor store, and casino.
Access to Montana's great backyard is the best part of being a Grizzly. At the University of Montana, our classrooms are the mountain peaks, river valleys, and never-ending plains of the Big Sky country. We provide students with the hands-on training to protect and enjoy hunting, conservation, and stewardship. UM launches the careers of outdoor leaders so that they can protect our traditions and ensure they are passed down for future generations. Because what's made in Montana is remaking the world.
Why would any business let you use their product and give you 365 days of reassurance? Mattress Firm does, because they believe in their mattresses. Save on top brands like Nectar, Tempur-Pedic, Beautyrest, Serta, Stearns & Foster, and others. Mattress Firm carries $149 mattresses all the way up to the luxury Purple Rejuvenate Premier. 0% in payments as low as $39 a month, along with 365 days of reassurance. See why Mattress Firm is Montana's best place to find the sleep you deserve.
Mattress Firm, where it's easy to get a great night's sleep.
ESPN Radio Missoula.
Well, per usual, we are up against it. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll be back at it on Monday. You're listening to Nuanez Now, right here on 102.9 ESPN Radio.